Have you ever wondered what goes bump in the night? What could be lurking round the corner? What shadows are waiting for us in the dark? Why we feel like we are being watched by the mysterious eyes of an unknown entity? When all rational explanations have been exhausted, it only leaves one explanation: the paranormal. Take a journey into the realm of the paranormal with your hosts, Damon Penny and Ben Winfield. We explore all things paranormal, from mediums to apparitions, from orbs to the occult, from demons to angels, and everything in between. So strap in and join us as we explore into the unknown. And don't forget, things can get a little strange. The Other Dimension Show on Pulse Talk Radio.
Welcome everybody to the Other Dimension Show. I'm your host Damon Penny, and tonight we are joined by a very special guest inside the studio. But before we get to that, let me just thank Mr. Carl War, the owner of Pulse Talk Radio, for having us here. He's been doing an amazing job. He actually posted up a picture on Facebook earlier of how Pulse looked when he first started, and it's come along so far, and I want to massively congratulate him for what he's done. He's done an absolutely blinding job with Pulse Talk Radio. And also, I've got to send a massive shout out to the odds, the listeners. You guys are amazing. I've had such great feedback from you guys. The podcast is kicking off. Don't forget, if you want to get the podcast, all you have to do is search The Other Dimension wherever you get your podcasts, and it will turn up. Also, check out the YouTube channel. Head over to the YouTube search bar, search The Other Dimension, and all of our videos are up there. Well, not videos, they're like, MP3 files, but I put a video on it, so you got something to look at. Also, don't forget, if you want to get involved in tonight's show, head over to our Facebook page, facebook.com/TOD Paranormal, and you can stick your messages up there. If you've got any questions for our guest tonight, or any questions for any of us, stick it up there, and we will get to you. No problem. Now, no paranormal superstar host is any good without his wingman. Now, we all know who he is, but some might say, some might say that he was the original Milk Tray Man. 100%. Welcome to Ben. He's going to unmute his thing now, and we're going to get him on the show. Ben, can you hear me?
Jesus, you make me sound worse every day.
What? I thought it was a true story.
Some might say it is, some might not. I can neither confirm nor deny such accusations at this time, Your Honour.
Oh, mate. That would be so great if he was the original Milk Tray Man.
Oh, God, yeah. I'd cash in on him. Cash in on that.
Yeah.
So, today I'm coming live from Edinburgh before I go into the vaults for the night.
Yes, with Haunted Scotland.
Yes. I've got to give a big shout out to the restaurant next door, the Carnivore. Jesus, their food is beautiful. So if you're ever up in Edinburgh, go next door from the vaults and they will give you every food. Unless you're a vegetarian, you're going to have issues if you're a vegetarian.
I think vegetarians have issues anyway, so...
No, vegetarians. I like vegetarians to a degree.
When they're not forcing their opinions on us meters.
Yeah. Yeah, I will be sticking some videos up on the page after tomorrow. Mm-hmm. So hopefully I get some good stuff for the viewers.
Yeah, no, it'd be great. It'd be great. Stick it up on the Other Dimension page.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you want to check that out, guys, head over to facebook.com/TOD Paranormal. Now, me and Ben, we're not just here on our own tonight. We're joined by a good friend of mine. Me and her have worked together on a few cases, and she's done a few readings for me, and they've been spot on. So I want to welcome onto the show Anesidora, who is a high priestess and a shaman, and we're going to find out what it's about. Annie, I've just asked you to unmute. Are you there?
Hello, Damon. Hi, Ben.
How are you doing?
Hello.
Good, how are you?
Well, is this not the first guest we've had on the show now?
It is. We broke our guest cherry.
Am I?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so nice.
Now, the main thing that everyone keeps asking me, since I've put up about you coming on the show tonight, apart from people offering you readings live on Facebook,
Yeah.
is what is a high priestess? What is a shaman? Can you explain it to us?
The titles were given to me by different guides and different astral entities that I had worked with all the time. Titles that they felt I should be using.
Mm-hmm.
However, I've never felt up to the standard of what I would define as good enough to use those titles as yet. High priestess usually run covens, whereas I'm completely solitary in my witchcraft. I would never run a coven. Mm-hmm. So although I have been told to use these titles, I think without a little bit more life experience, I probably wouldn't go ahead and use one. So basically, high priestess is just somebody who runs a team, if you like, of other witches. They usually have gone through all the trials and tribulations of everything that goes along with that, and have earned that status in the physical. Okay. Through those different things. Whereas a shaman, that's slightly different. Again, usually belong to a tribe, which obviously I don't, at least, again, not in the physical. But they are anything from healers, spell workers, spiritual workers, dream weavers, dream walkers. They generally tend to have quite a few set collective gifts, and they use those to help other people.
See, my idea of a shaman is like, you know, the guy that sort of dances around the fire, like sort of half naked with one of them sticks with bells on.
Yeah. I suppose that's probably due to too much TV, to be honest. They are linked with Native America or indigenous cultures. However, there is actually no truth to that whatsoever.
He's been watching
Indigenous cultures do not have, they don't even understand or use that term at all.
He's been watching me at weekends, that's what it's been.
Yeah. Ben's got an OnlyFans. If anyone's interested, search him on OnlyFans.
That sounds so dodgy.
Now, you do a lot of work in the astral. Now,
yeah.
In the past year, since I've sort of been talking to Ben and I've been sort of learning more about demonology and this sort of thing, I've come to the conclusion that demonics are interdimensional beings and time sort of runs congruent, but they have the intelligence to be able to move from their realm to our realm.
Intelligence, probably not. Conscious awareness, yes. And dimensional beings, yes.
Yeah. I mean, Ben, do you
intelligence levels varies as it does with the human race, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Trust me on that one.
Politician.
But yeah, definitely a higher level of conscious awareness than most humans have, then, yes.
100%. And I'm sort of coming around to this way of thinking, and it's like, it's just opened up all these avenues. And it's mainly Ben that sort of put me in that direction. Because when I first met Ben, right, this is a crazy story, he went, when you work with demonics, do you talk to them? It's like, no. He was like, well, you know, they can help you, they can teach you. And I was just like, what the hell? I'm going to sit there and make friends with someone that's made from hellfire. You're having a laugh with me, but I've come round to that way of thinking.
Yeah, it depends. For me, I liken them to a bit like a casino. So they will usually come to you and offer things. I find that it generally tends to knock them a bit if they're summoned. They can come to you and ask you and offer you certain things, but there is always a price that will come with that. There will be a price tag.
Yeah.
Nothing's ever for free, and the only ones that ever win realistically are them. And that doesn't necessarily mean to say that they're always negative. Right. They do genuinely give you what they ask for. You have to be very, very, very careful how you word things. Our English nowadays is nowhere near as comprehensive, shall we say, as it should be for making deals with demons, if you like.
Always look in the small print and accept that.
Yeah, there's always a contract. Yeah, Yeah, they deal in deals. That is their thing.
Wow. So is that like what you were saying, Ben, with the whole Aleister Crowley thing? If you look into Aleister Crowley, you're looking at taking on a curse.
Yeah, you look onto Aleister Crowley, and he made a deal that was very one-sided, but thought he was getting the better offer.
Yeah, they always think they're getting the better offer.
Yeah,
and they're not ever.
Knowing how to word things with them.
You have to think these beings have been consciously aware and still are for hundreds and hundreds of thousands of years, whereas every incarnation of a human, most of us forget every life we've ever lived prior. So it's a fresh start every time. We have a memory wipe. They never do, because they're never born into the physical. Well, I wouldn't say it never. It has happened, but very rarely.
Yeah.
Crazy. It's like with Aleister Crowley, it's amazing what these white rich kids do. It's mental. So,
excuse me.
With your astral projection that you do, like, because I said to you, do you like put yourself out there as an astral medium? I mean, you was like, no, I practice astraling, but I'm not an astral medium. Is that right?
It always gets complicated for me with titles, because everywhere else I work apart from here doesn't deal in titles, they deal in energy. So you get a feel and an intent from a being. You don't have to title it like humans do. Mediumship means somebody in the middle who works either side, whereas when you're in astral, you're already in the middle. So I don't know. I suppose in one sense it is an astral medium, and then in another sense it isn't. There's different realms and different levels to the astral world. Some have spirits, some have higher entities, some have lower entities, some have negative spirits. There's within that, there's different dimensional spaces in between each one of those. So it's not as black and white as saying, do you do this, do you do that? It's very hard to sort of subcategorize what the astral world is and does, and what you do within that, because there's lots of different things. There's also two different types of astral movement. There's probably more, but two that I classify with the title. And that is the astral moving. And then there's also something called remote movement as well.
What are they? Sorry, because I've never heard of them.
So astral travel, I do have to sort of put myself into a meditative state, a really deep meditative state. So have you ever been in the stage before, just before sleeping awake, where your consciousness is still aware, but you're not quite asleep yet?
Yeah. I
can move through different dimensional times and space and into the astral realms in that state. Whereas with remote movement, I can do that just by thinking of or linking to somebody's energy on the physical plane. And it's sort of like motion pictures running through your mind. So it's more of like a projection, as if you were looking at a place now in the physical and a person now in the physical on a screen almost.
Yeah.
And you can move around in their space and see what they see and see where they, like, kind of like what I did with you when I did that clearing.
Yes. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. That was mental.
So that was remote movement.
Oh, okay.
It's what the Russians were trying to do during the Russian Americans were trying to do during the 60s and 70s when they got onto
CSI.
The site.
Yes, is it CSI? Yeah. They use it as
PSI.
well.
Is it PSI? No, CSI.
CIA.
That's it. Yeah.
I watched TV too.
I'm thinking what?
The CIA, they use it as well.
They had a program running.
Yeah, not the program. I don't know if they do or not, but yeah, no. I meant the CIA. They use it. They apparently use it as well.
How did you two forget the name of the CIA? What the hell?
I would give you the way I remember them, but I don't know how much US government people might be listening to this.
Don't know. I would probably remember that. I remember them the same way too.
What the?
So let's not go there.
I'll put it out there. What the Central Idiots Agency or something?
Imagine more British humour.
No, Not so intelligent agency. Yeah, is that one? Yeah. We love controversy. We love it on the show. It's great. I mean, Ben, have you ever sort of come across this sort of like, astral or remote travelling and stuff like that? Do you do things like that?
I've known people from Edinburgh listening to the sirens. They're already coming for me.
Yeah.
Perfect timing.
There's quite a few cases, cultology-wise. There's a lot of cases in cultology-wise from people doing it. People have been known to do it with digs in Egypt and stuff like that to find locations of old places. So it does get used a lot.
Yeah.
I think the police force at the minute have used it for Madeleine McCann.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay.
I know it was in the
I
paper.
suppose it could be used that way, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Some clairvoyants come forward and stated where she knows where she's buried because she's seen it.
Is that remote movement, or is that
sorry, it was a he.
Is that remote movement, or is that more a case of like a seer, like visions?
It's on that line, that's the thing.
It's very similar, but it's not the same. Very, very similar.
The person claimed that they've attached to the killer, but
energy of her. Yeah, okay. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I see where the similarity would come in, yeah.
It's that blurred line that you get.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's mad. I mean, I've never heard of anything like it. It's just crazy. I mean, what's the worst experience you've had, Annie?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
You don't have to if you don't want to.
No, that's okay. My worst experience was probably when I first got into witchcraft and start coming into my own spiritual awakening. And I don't mean like, I'm going to say this in air quotes, walk, because that winds me up as a totally different thing. And awakening is difficult, very, very hard to do. You feel like you're losing your mind, to be quite honest with you. But by's the by, I was just going through all that. And I remember feeling not very well. So I'd give my daughter to her dad, and he took her out for a while, and I decided to go and have a lie down. And then I remember something coming into the room and feeling really freaked out, and I could feel the presence there. But again, this was all very new to me at the time. Wow. It was just after I'd had my daughter. And then I heard my ex come back and brought my daughter into the room and sat her on the bed and said, "Are you going to get up now?" And my daughter leaned in to give me a kiss. And the next thing I knew, I had this, it sounds horrific, but that's the sort of mind games they play, this huge long tongue right down the back of my throat. But they'd done that as my daughter.
Oh, bloody hell. So
I was obviously stuck in a nightmare, but every time I would keep waking up in my room, and then it would stop and something bad would happen. The cat ran in and ran to the side of the bed, and I looked at the cat, and it went into this big grey, massive black grey smoke and started manifesting into some sort of humanoid shape. And as I went to scream out, I woke up again, but I kept waking up inside of a dream. So when I did eventually wake up again, I went to obviously run out of the bedroom. And as I got to the door, something got hold of me, picked me up, flung me through the air and pinned me to the bed. Obviously, I didn't know at this point, am I still asleep? Am I awake? What's happening? So I managed to get free of whatever it was, run downstairs, and my ex and my daughter wasn't there still. And I sat downstairs and waited for them to come back. So actually that last, what I thought was a dreamscape where I got picked up and launched through the air and pinned to the bed was actually, I was awake that time.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a horrible experience. I'm not sure if I've explained it very well, but that was the worst thing that's ever happened to me. It was horrifying because I just felt like a continuous loop and I could not get out of it. And it was everything you could possibly imagine that would be the most horrific horror story type stuff was happening over and over and over again. And I could not figure out. It was the mental messing. I couldn't figure out if I was awake or asleep or not, but it didn't make it any less scary.
That's just nuts. That's just crazy.
Oh, it's just one of many stories, but I think that's probably the last one.
Oh, bloody hell. Well, Zoom's decided to... Zoom's decided to sod me up. It's saying that the meeting time is like 5 minutes, so I might have to log out onto my account. So, but what I'll do is I'll have to log out. I'll carry on talking, and I will send you over. Annie, I've got your email. Ben, just send me over your email on Facebook, and I'll add you to the new one, and then we'll start all over again. All right?
Yeah.
Right, yo. I'm just gonna end that there. This just shows that we're live people, so you know how it works. Now, don't forget, guys, if you do want to get involved in like the show tonight, all you have to do is head over to facebook.com and facebook.com/TOD Paranormal, and that will get you through to us. If you have any questions for Annie or Ben, we've got some new part of the show tonight, which is going to be really, really cool once we get everyone back in. So, yeah. Don't forget, guys, as well, every Saturday, 9 till 10 p.m, we are here. And we will be talking all things paranormal. Next week, we have got Kay Maloney on. She's a Kabbalistic reader, and we've also got her husband on as well. And they do this thing called ICT, which is like... I don't know how to explain it. I think it's better than to explain it. Now, don't forget, guys, as well, this is available as a podcast. So if you want to be involved in the podcast, it's available on Apple. You can get it on Spotify. You can get it on Spreaker. I think Spreaker's on Spreaker as well. But we are going to get the guests on very, very soon. Just bear with me. Once again, I want to send a massive shout out to Carl. And don't forget, Ben is actually coming from Edinburgh tonight. He's going to be venturing in there. If you do want to check out the videos tonight, Ben will be uploading them to our page. That is facebook.com /TOD Paranormal. Yeah, I'm really intrigued with the show tonight. I can't wait to get the guys back on and actually get into this, you know. Astral projection and all that sort of thing is just absolutely crazy. It really does sort of interest me. Now, I can vouch for Annie. She's done a lot of work for me as well. So, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. So, yeah. Oh, crazy. I always have problems. Always have problems. Oh, dearie me. Dearie me. Rightio. Now, we should be getting them back on soon. So what I'm going to do is, while we're waiting, is I'm going to play the jingle. So check this out.
Pulse Talk Radio, the place to come for talk shows about the paranormal. Sponsored by the Psychic Clinic. Empowering self-healing. ThePsychicClinic.com.
The Psychic Clinic. So make sure you go and check that out. If you want to get involved in that, we are sponsored by the Psychic Clinic. PsychicClinic.com. So make sure you go and check that out. Right, I think we're near about ready. Just waiting for Annie to come back on, and then we shall be going live. Hold on, Ben. Hold on, Ben. Oh, dearie me. Right, let's get Ben back on. Don't forget, guys, as well, we are live every week, and I know I keep saying that, but please, please, please head over to our... Oh, you're back. Way. This always happens to me. Always.
Yeah. It's the Alistair Crowley curse effect.
I know what? We was just talking about that, and it happened, didn't it?
No.
Oh, hi, Annie. How you doing?
Hi, good. I'm back.
We're back. We're back. That's how you know we're live. That's how you know we're live. I just had to listen to my own voice for like 5-10 minutes. I drove myself insane. Now, where was we?
Sat there singing, I'm so lonely.
Do you know that time when we was on the show and it all went tits up and then you were stuck on your own? Do you remember that?
Oh God, yeah, I had a mental breakdown.
That's what
no.
just happened to me. That's just happened to me.
He left me mid-conversation, and I just sort of went,
What he doesn't realise is that was his interview to become my future co-host. Now, Annie, we had a show a couple of weeks ago. We was talking about demonic hierarchy. Now, do you have your own opinion on the demonic hierarchy?
Yeah.
Right, just yeah.
Just yeah. I'm just thinking. From how I perceive it, there are the levels.
Mm-hmm.
So you do have, should I say oldest? Not sure if they are, but I'm not sure if that's always the case. I want to say oldest members at the top of the chain.
Yeah.
Then there are, it works very similarly to how an army system would run. So you have your highest at the top, then you have their seconds and their left and right hands.
Yeah. Then
you have a lower order below them. So they're like your generals, whatever. Then they have all of their little troops. And then you have right at the bottom, you have what I refer to as lessers.
Hey.
Fine. This is why I asked this question, because I knew Annie referred to him as that, and Ben is like literally the only person who I've ever heard refer to him as lessers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, you have to work with them to know that. That's how you can sort of catch people out, as silly as it sounds. Unless they refer to the base ones as lessers, they don't know it.
Because they don't really have human form. They're humanoid, but they're impish, kind of, but worse than an imp.
So
they're large numbers.
What size would you say they usually stand at?
What's that? Sorry.
What size would you say they stand at, like feet wise?
Probably a little smaller than me, 5 foot-ish, if that.
See?
Really, really skinny.
Yeah.
Weird looking, ghoulish little creatures, but they come in many, many, many numbers.
When you said 5 foot,
one is really, really easy to get rid of, but there's never just one.
No.
When you said 5 foot, it just remind me of my mum.
So you said I remind you of your mum, Damon?
No.
Hey, Damon. She can tell you what to do now.
The 5-footed fish creature reminds you of your mum.
Yes.
Hey, careful. She might
be
be listening.
Careful on live, Damon.
No, I know she's not been
Telling
listening because she's been kicked upstairs because it's the Euros, so she's not listening. So I'll get away with that.
Oh no.
Yeah, until she listens back.
yeah. So when we was talking about demonic hierarchy, we sort of come across this epiphany that there's always the same 4 at the top. Would you be in agreement with that? Like, it's normally Lucifer, Satan, Beelzebub, and I think it's Astaroth that always seem to be holding
Astaroth
up.
Isn't demonic, he's higher up. Or if he was a demon before, I don't know, but I've only met him now, so he's not in that demonic category. You have Lucifer and Satan. Then you have below them too. You have Beelzebub. And
I need to hit up this demon club that you go to and meet some of them. Really,
I wouldn't recommend you doing that.
Your higher ups, you'd say more like Baal and
Baal's a higher up, but Baal also isn't necessarily demonic. He's what I would class as extraterrestrial.
Elder. He's Anunnaki.
Yeah. He's Anunnaki. Yes, he is. Yes. So, I'm talking to the right one here. Hi. Yeah,
he was an Anunnaki.
I think he was originally El, I believe.
Yeah. Yes, it was originally El, but became after the fall, basically just took
He
on the name.
became Baal. The reason why they did, I know why they did that, but I don't know if you do.
I work with them sort of level of beings. So
Yeah.
It's nice to have someone on here I can talk to.
It's really
Sorry,
strange.
Damon.
Hey, many of us about it. So.
I'm stealing her. She can come with me and Lou. She can come and do an answer.
Yeah.
I'm on silent strike.
Because you do realise this is live, and people who are listening are going to be like, "What the heck are they talking about?"
People are already like that with me. This show, thanks to Damon, as he said last week, this show has finally got my mum to sit down and talk to me and go, so what do you actually do?
Uh-oh. I wouldn't even know where to start explaining that to my family. I think they'd have me committed.
So what's the difference then between Anunnaki and demonics? And I've also heard another race of demonics, like what they call interdimensional beings, called archons.
Yeah.
So what's the difference between all of them?
Difference between English people and Chinese people.
Yeah.
What they like to eat with sticks, and we use knife and fork.
No, one race is more intelligent than the other, but they're the same thing.
Are we talking about Anunnaki and Archons, or English and Chinese
Archons
people?
are different. Archons are different, but demonics and Anunnaki, that's the difference between English and Chinese people.
So what are
basically different regions. It's just basically people coming from different regions.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
So what
where
are
I
Archons
describe
then?
it.
Archons, I find them more like byproduct, if you like.
It's the kindest way you can put it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Byproduct of what?
I don't really see them as a conscious. No, then yeah, they are conscious. They're not sort of a tangible entity, being kind of thing. They're more of an energy thing than a physical.
Yeah. They're like ants in a sense. They're not all wired up, but they'll just do the basic. They're drones, basically. Yeah,
like cogs in a machine.
Yeah.
Part of the system, but not really part of this. You're not aware of them. Most people aren't, anyway.
Can I just say, right, with this conversation, I feel like, do you know, like the guy that walks into a gig who's never seen the band before, but everybody else in the room has seen that band
singing along. Yeah, and that's exactly how every single person listening to this tonight probably feels as well.
Crazy.
Oh no.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So where did the seraphim come into this?
Seraphim are celestial being, angelic. Humans call them angels. They're a whole different race on their own.
The Valentians.
Yeah, they have a very certain level, wavelength they have to abide by. So when they came down during the Anunnaki Wars, a lot of them did exactly what they weren't supposed to do. And unfortunately, humans would class that as falling their grace or losing their grace. So then they could not then go back to their realm. They had to reincarnate here, same as some of the Anunnaki.
Basically known as the Fallen.
Yeah, people call them the fallen angels, but I find that a bit mean.
And then
that's why I call them the Fallen. It's just more funny.
Yeah.
People talk about the elders as well as being another race, but I mean, from my research, the elders are, the 5 brothers and sisters. You have like dream, time, death, despair, and I can't remember what the other one is. Like, that's from my research, but I could be way off.
Come on. You should be able to remember the other one.
I don't remember. It's like gluttony or something. I don't know. It's been a long day. I've spent all day clearing an alleyway that had 4 years worth of stinging nettles and growth. So it's been a long day. It's been mad. Now, when we talk about, you mentioned that Anunnaki War, was that the one with the flood at the end?
It was before that.
It was before that. What is the Anunnaki War?
There is a huge battle around the Sumerian era where Draconians and the Anunnaki, it was a bit of a power struggle. And that's kind of where some of your Anunnaki ended up taking, but they had different names by that point. So there was Lilith, Baal,
L.
And, well, L was Baal. It's hard to explain how the reincarnation process works, but it's kind of like why humans get confused with how the Egyptian hierarchy works. So say Osiris and Isis for the most basic example, because most people would have heard of them. Again, not their real names, but that's mythology for you. They were husband and wife and brother and sister. They were, but that's based on a human survival timeline.
Yeah.
So most races don't work the same way we do.
Right.
It's we would class that as incest, whereas those races don't.
We would class that
and
as
it's not because they were brother and sister. That is just the way that's been mistranslated over the years. Yeah. So originally, Osiris and Isis probably would have more likely been linked, based on the history that I remember, would have been a son or a daughter of Lilith. And so I think is it she was called is it Anna or Ina?
Anna, daughter of the moon.
So it would have been the female Anunnaki.
I and Anna. Sorry, I lose.
Yeah, I and Anna. Yeah. So there was El and there was I and Anna. El and I and Anna were husband and wife. Yeah. And then there was their brother, who was, I can't remember his name either. My memory's gone blank.
Yeah.
Do you remember it?
No, Lou's sat here, who's obviously my partner. She's good with all this stuff, but she's sat here now cursing that she's not brought books with her to read to get
Oh, good. Is it Enki?
Enki.
It was Enki. Enki, El, and Ainana.
Enki became Pazuzu.
Who is also Lucifer.
Yeah.
Enki, weren't that the word Enki in Aramaic means death?
Yeah, so he ended up being Set, Egyptian god of the dead.
That's
which
the
is
half
also
dog one,
Lucifer,
isn't it?
Which is also that's
Anubis.
He's a completely different kettle of fish.
Yeah.
What?
He's part of a different race. He's part of what's known as the apocalyptics.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, mate, this is. Do you know what you said about I need to get a book and write it down? I've actually started writing all this down.
I'm writing it all down, so I'll send you copies.
So I've achieved something tonight. I found Ben a new best friend, so this is cool. No, it's great having you on, Annie. And I don't know why you'd be so nervous, because
it's weird for me to talk about. I'm aware that the mass majority of the human race don't know what I know without sounding big-headed or egotistical, and I don't want to paint myself as a crazy person, essentially. So there's plenty of them out there. I generally tend to keep my head down and my mouth shut.
The people we have listening are the proper awake people, not these awoke as you hear them on the news. We have the awake. Yeah, we have the awake people.
Awakened, yeah.
I mean, the way I look at things is the universe has a really funny way of showing itself. So by you putting yourself out there and talking the way you're talking, you're only going to get good things back. And it's definitely the way it works, 100%. Because
I agree.
The greatest way of spreading knowledge is the old school way of storytelling and sharing knowledge, word of mouth.
Yeah, well, my husband's got two books out on the paranormal. He's a published author, and he keeps saying this to me all the time. So you need to write it down or start going online and talking about this stuff.
Yeah,
people need to know what's going on and what has been and what's coming. And
yeah, definitely.
We'll have to share notes at some point as well.
That would be interesting.
To send some over to you, see what you think.
Yeah, cool.
Ben loves a sigil. He loves a sigil.
I'm really into symbology as well.
Everyone loves my symbology because I have a book with ones that I've been helped with making.
Yes, yeah, I do the same thing.
Yeah.
I've actually got one tattooed on my arm.
Oh, very nice.
You can see it.
Oh, yeah. Obviously, people can't see it that are on the radio station. But it's very nice.
Yeah.
Sorry, Poops.
Oh, I draw stick men, so.
Oh, I want to change the subject. I feel like we're leaving you out of the party.
No, it's
Give
fine.
some colours in a colouring book. Put them in the corner.
Yeah,
And we'll
little
put it on the
crayons.
fridge. We'll put it on the fridge when he's finished.
Now, I've got a new part of the show. I haven't made a jingle for it yet, but I want to start doing it every week with you, Ben, and with all the guests we've got on the show. And it's called Power Rank This. Right? And what we're going to do is every week we're going to get 5 things and we're going to rank them. Well, no, we're going to decide on the 5 things and we're going to rank them in 1 to 5, but they're going to be really, really odd. So this week's one, and Annie, you need to join in as well. This week's power ranking is things you shouldn't wear to an exorcism.
Oh God, it's got to be my T-shirt I'm wearing now. It's got to be the T-shirt I'm wearing now that says on the top.
God is busy.
God's busy. How can I help?
That's brilliant.
So I want to throw it out there. The worst thing you can wear, the worst thing you can wear to an exorcism, a pair of Speedos. Just Speedos.
Yeah. No, got to be Mankini.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I think the Mankini would have it better.
So, number 5, we've got the God is Busy T-shirt, and number 4 is a pair of Speedos. What are we going for number 3?
I think dog collar and one of these hats.
Ah, what is that? That's the original Exorcist hat, isn't it?
Yeah, with the dog collar. Yeah. All these demonologists now online are like wearing these with the dog collars, aren't they? And it's just so cliche.
That's one of these things. I just want to slap them with it. Go.
Yeah, same.
I've been studying for years. I've been through libraries. Do you really think a 3-hour course is going to be able to compete with the knowledge we have?
No.
Please, come with me. Honestly, come with me. I will teach you better. It won't cost you anything.
You know, I was saying that on the show I done last night for Breaking the Silence, because I was on a show called Breaking the Silence last night, and they done a show about 3-4 weeks ago where they was talking about demons, and all of them on there were like, oh, I'm on the fence about demons, and then I just dropped a K-bomb on all of them, like pure knowledge, just straight out. And at the end of it, they was like, we're gonna have to rethink whether demons exist or not. And I was just like, boom. So,
You broke their minds.
yeah. So number 3 is the what's that called? Like a fedora and a dog collar. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 is got to be a pair of Birkenstocks.
Yeah, or Martini. That German uniform they wear at Beer Fest. That'd be a good one.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And number one has to be a Donald Trump costume.
Oh God, yeah. Walking in saying, it's fake news. It's all fake news.
Yes. 100%. Right, so moving into the last 15 minutes.
Jesus Christ. Lou's just come up with a brilliant one, sorry.
What's that?
Walking in an Ann Summers slutty nun outfit.
Oh, yeah. That would work. That's got to go in at number 1. That's definitely.
See, you say these are the worst outfits, but this is the sort of thing demons would find hilariously funny and probably exit the human they're in to join in with the fun.
Yeah. They'd be pissing themselves that much to join in.
Yeah.
It'd be like the end of
I'm jumping to that one.
Yeah. It'd be like the end of Beetlejuice. Everyone would just be dancing around.
Yeah.
100%. Now, I want to ask you about something, Annie, that me and you were talking about, and you said when these Anunnaki and these demons present themselves and they showed himself in their armor. That's always stuck in my mind. The way you described it. Can you describe that to the listeners?
Their armor is always gold. The Anunnaki have wings, but they're always metallic-y looking.
Yeah.
Who else was it you said? You mentioned the Anunnaki and who else?
Just all of them. I mean, the seraphim you said showing gold and white.
The angels dress in gold and white, yeah.
And you said
some of them, not all of them. Some of them.
Yeah.
There's certain. There's again with that side. There's a hierarchy, and different ones have different jobs, and usually they are like a god of a fashion. And they do wear the big gold helmets and the white linens and the big gold breastplates and
it's
very
just,
Romanesque looking, but gold.
Yeah, that's just crazy. It's almost like visiting Middle Earth in Lord of the Rings.
If you like. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Not quite as fantasy based, but I can see where you're coming from.
Yeah,
with that, yeah.
No, but I totally believe it because I have like the world's most active imagination. I'm the guy that can have a bit of paper and make a full biography about it. You know, I'm one of them guys. So I can
really
definitely
good.
follow that.
It's always good to have a good imagination.
Yeah, well, I work with Ben Winfield. Of course I've got a great imagination. I had to. I'm sorry, mate. I had to.
I don't know. That's what I'm worried about. Lou's like, what are you imagining about?
Yeah. I don't want to know. Let's just put it this way: you will be entering the vaults tonight in one of them 5 things that we just spoke about, dressed up as. That's where my imagination's coming.
Have you been to the vaults before?
I'm having nipple tassels. We came up here before. Lou brought me up here for my 30th birthday, and we had a bit of fun. But this time I'm back, obviously, with a group, and I have my own equipment. My books are with me.
Oh, fab! Are they going to let you use that in there? I know they were funny when we went in, but I was using our own gear.
I don't think they know that this is coming because it's in a nice silver flight case.
Robbie will punch you. Robbie will punch you.
Robbie's the reason.
It's interesting to see what you get there.
Yeah, it will be.
You know what?
I love the vaults.
As I've said at the beginning, I will be putting videos up and that up tomorrow on the other side.
The other dimension. Yeah, Facebook.
Right, I'm running through every show we've ever done.
Yeah.
I was about to say the demonologist then, but then it's like I lose track.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a podcast hound, so.
Yeah.
So, Annie, you do a lot of work with ESM Paranormal.
Yeah.
Are you the leader of that team, or do you just work?
No. My husband is. He founded the group with a gentleman named John Judge Jeffries, and they are based in Dorset. But obviously, I pinched them and moved them up here.
Right.
We actually met because I was on a few pages online on Facebook, and I was talking about my witchcraft and stuff, and he got in touch with me via that, and it sort of went from there.
Oh, cool. So what does ESM stand for?
It stands for... Oh my God, he's going to kill me.
I have my own theory on this. I reckon it stands for extremely spiritual nutcases.
No. Oh my God, how can I not remember what that stands for? I actually made the T-shirts for them.
The pressure. You can feel the pressure.
I know. I'm like Googling it.
It's right. I've already broken.
I think it's everything supernatural.
That sounds about right. That does sound about right. I mean, Ben, as we wrap up, have you got any questions for Annie?
No. I think me and her are going to have long conversations anyway about stuff. So
I'm happy to cross-reference with you. It sounds good.
it's nice to have someone to actually cross-reference with properly. No offense, Damon.
To bounce
Obviously, you're
stuff off.
learning.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Poor Damon.
Yeah.
He's slowly learning. He's slowly.
I'm the guy that sits in the corner with a big cone on his head and a big D on it.
Yeah, Lou says she feels like she joined you.
Yeah. Yeah, we can do tic-tac-toe in the corner. I mean, Annie, brilliant guest. I feel like we've only just brushed the surface of the knowledge that you can bring to the people.
It has flew over, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh,
really
please,
100%.
please, can you come back on again at some point, please?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure.
100%.
It's been really fun.
I want to get a deep dive into these interdimensional beings. I want to find out everything I can about them. Because see, with me, I have an eidetic memory, so I can read things and remember it. But there is nothing out there on any of this. So, except for Ben's little black box.
Yeah, well, most of my stuff's all blacklisted now.
Oh,
And
no.
I have to wait till Ben Winfield dies to get a look at them black books, because he's going to put them in his will. But yeah, no, definitely want to get you back on, Annie.
It'll be my pleasure.
Yeah, I mean, it's great for you to come on radio. Like you said, it's good to share. I mean, the guys at Pulse, the listeners we have at Pulse are completely different to any listeners that I've had anywhere else, because they're more accepting, and they support, they don't criticize, which is the great thing about the Pulse Radio Network. So yeah, honestly, it's been great having you on. Now, do you want to plug anything? Have you got any events coming up? Have you got a Facebook, a website that you
No, I'm
put for
nice and
listeners?
quiet at the moment. I'm focusing more on my freelance artistry at the moment, and with the summer holidays, we've got 2 families either side of the country. So at the moment, I'm on the relaxing summer at the moment. I might pick it back up later on in the year, but at the moment, I've washed my hands of it all, to be quite honest. And I'm just trying to live as normally as possible and block everything out for a little while. I'm kind of gone on a bit of a hiatus.
Well, that's all good. It's all good. Right, I've got to ask this question, because I'm going to start asking everyone that comes on the show the same question. What's your take on orbs?
What? It's a bit of what's my take on orbs?
Yeah, what do you think
you
of
need
orbs?
a good pledge and a duster.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And because we done it last week, what's your take on app-based paranormal technology?
Hell no.
He's pushing it. He's
That-
pushing it. Really.
No,
God
because
no.
I've had that thing happen. I've told people, if you want to argue with me about app-based paranormal technology, I will fight you for charity. I swear to God. It doesn't work.
No, it doesn't work. I think, again, it depends where you are. I think you can get the odd thing if you're extremely lucky on rare occasions, but there's absolutely no scientific backing. There never, ever will be. It's just not. It's not a solid enough platform to work from for anything even remotely close to proof, in my opinion, at least. Anyway, I could be wrong.
100%.
I think they're rubbish.
The final question. I think I know the answer to this one, but old school or new school investigating?
Oh, that one for me, I'm not sure of, because investigating to me is new.
Yeah.
I've only ever been out on 3 investigations. I refuse to go on most because I have the week from hell prior if they know I'm coming, and I don't get any sleep. So I generally tend to avoid investigations and make him spiritually shower outside of the house before he comes in after one as well. So like a bin man on shift. Like
I
just take your dirty stuff off at the door. Don't trudge it through the house.
I completely take offence to that, because I am a dustman.
I know. I realised as I said it, but I thought, no, it's out now. It's out now. It's too late.
That's why he's got that little hair bun to make him look like a bag, so he feels more more at peace with the environment.
No, it's
Oh
actually
no, leave him alone.
it makes me more aerodynamic. You know, you see
I
cars.
keep saying that about my head.
Yeah, no, but you see cars in Essex. They have a spoiler. That's my spoiler.
It is a spoiler, mate, but not in the way you're thinking.
Oh no, that's enough, boys. It's the end of the show. Dropping me.
It's all right. It's all right. I'm gonna let him off because he was the original milk tray man. So we can let him off. You don't know. He's lethal with a judo chop. Ben Winfield judo chop. And the pure fact that he does reenactments scares the crap out of me. Because I've always had this imagine that I'm going to go and see him one day up in Derby, and he's going to walk me out to the middle of the field, banging his drum, like taking me for execution with his axe.
I'm just going to do Old Yeller.
Oh God. Right, so come to the end of the show. I want to thank Annie for coming on.
Again, my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
That's great.
Our pleasure.
Yeah, definitely 100% our pleasure. It's been a great conversation. If you can hold on there for us, I'm going to have a chat with you after the show. I'm just going to close out now, if that's all right.
Yeah.
But once again, Annie, thank you for coming on. You've been a great...
thank you both very much. It was an honour. Thank you.
Oh, the honour's ours. Thank you.
Just hold on there for us. I'll be back in a second. Now, Ben, see, I told you I'd find you some good guests.
She is legendary. I can sit and have a conversation with her for eternity. I'm happy on that.
Yeah, good. We're going to get her back on. Now, next week's show, we are joined by Kay and Craig Maloney.
Yeah.
The Kabbalistic Readers.
These are the ones I need to.
Yes, we're going to be talking to them about the Kabbalistic approach to what they do and their sort of group that they run, the ITC group. So we're talking to them about them. So for all the Pulse listeners out there, next week's going to be a big show. And I think the week after, we've got your guys on.
Yes, Mystic Paranormal will be coming on. These are the youngest team I know of.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be interesting to have them on.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to it. So some massive shows coming up on The Other Dimension. And I know I've mentioned it time before, but if you do want to listen back on any of our shows, all you have to do is search The Other Dimension in Apple or Spotify. Do me a massive favour, and Ben a massive favour. Rate, review, and any 5-star reviews we get, I'm going to read them live on the radio and live on the podcast.
Yeah.
100%. And Ben, you're going to be uploading them videos tomorrow. I'm looking forward to that.
Yes, I'll be uploading, obviously, from Edinburgh Vaults. See what I can do, see what I can get.
Is it Edinburgh Vaults or Nidri Street Vaults that have the stone circle?
It's...
I think it's Nidri, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Nidri.
Is that where you're going tonight?
Yeah. We've got three entrances from my lovely assistant that knows all the information for me. There's 3 entrances into the vaults, and the one we're going in does have the demon circle, as it's called.
Wicked. No, I'm definitely looking forward to that. Definitely looking to that. So, let's close out the show. So, great week this week. Looking forward to next week. I hope you enjoy the vaults, Ben.
Should be fun.
And me and the listeners are looking forward to seeing the videos.
Hopefully I can get my lovely future wife on the videos.
It'd be great.
So,
It'd be great. 100%. Right, guys. We have been The Other Dimension. I've been Damon. He's been Ben. We want to thank you all for listening. And don't forget to catch us every Saturday, 9 till 10 p.m. here on The Other Dimension Show.
For joining us on this journey into the world of the paranormal. Don't forget, if you missed the show, It will be available on our podcast. Just search The Other Dimension wherever you get your favorite podcasts. If you have any questions about the show, or you wish to contact the show with your own experiences, just head over to the Facebook group at www.facebook.com/TOD Paranormal.
Ha 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 ha!